Hi everyone, how's it going? Right, I decided after I'd spent all morning taking down the outside decorations and baking a bread pudding and everything else, I thought, right, I'll get this car up and running. And there is an issue with this car. The bloke who I bought it off have said that he couldn't get it going. It wouldn't run properly. He's obviously had it going at some point, but he just said it just, he couldn't do anything with it. Now, to me, it all seemed okay. The car seemed fine. Let me just take this air filter off. The carburetor, everything looks all new. It looks set okay. There don't seem to be an issue with like the little gap for the tick over and all that. And the car itself is absolutely immaculate. It's a strange one. I don't know if there's a problem with the carburetor. Basically, it starts up and it'll run for about 30 seconds then die. And it don't matter whereabouts you have any settings or whatever. It just don't seem to run right. Now, there's got to be fuel going in, because I blew down the pipe, blew some fuel in. If the engine did flood, it wouldn't turn. It's on a rotor start, so there's fuel going in, but it's got to be a carb issue. It can't be anything else, because just a bit strange why it won't continue to tick over. I did notice that the high speed needle was quite loose. Usually it's got quite a bit of resistance. Another thing I noticed as well was that the glow plug that was in it, I've took the glow plug out and I've put a washer on it. It didn't have a washer on it, and it was so tight. To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if the glow plug was sort of too far in. It had been torqued down that tight that I really struggled to get it off. Take it out. I managed to loosen it off. It hasn't damaged the button or anything, thank God. Once again though, why would you, if a glow plug's got a washer on it and you lose it, obviously, it ain't going to work properly. Why would you put it back in and tighten it up, over tighten it, just to stop it from leaking? But that was the first issue I see. The second problem, like I say, is it won't tick over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the carburetor off. I think that'd be the easiest thing for me to do. It seems pointless me fiddling about tinkering with it. I tried earlier, and it's just no good. It don't want to do it. And I don't quite know, to be honest, what's wrong. I can usually sort of like, if we have this problem with fuel not getting in, like sometimes you get a bit of jelly in the line or whatever, then usually unblock it and the problem's sorted. This goes a little bit further than that, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do as yet. But I think at the moment I'm going to whip the carburetor off and just see if I can physically see if there's anything noticeably wrong that I can sort out. It's always the way, isn't it? When you want a tool, you can't find it. Yeah, as usual, I've lost my Allen key I need, so I'm gonna have to use one of these. I don't like using these ones. I prefer to use like the ones with an handle on. That wrong size. I'll be a bit next size down. I thought it might have been the bigger one, to be honest. No, that's fairly loose. don't know much about these HPI engines, but I'm pretty much sure that he looks very much like a false engine. And I've never had any issues with false engines before. So it's a bit of a mystery. That looks all clean inside. Don't look like there's any sort of like... Now look, let's see. That's working how it should. The needle just comes out right at the end at full throttle. And the tick over gap, there is a gap. Not a very large one, but there is one. So there's no reason why it shouldn't run. What I'm gonna do, yeah, usually you get a little bit of jelly down that hole there. I don't know if you can see, but that's all clear. But I'm going to strip this carburetor down. I think I'm going to strip it down, have a look, and see what's wrong. What I'll do is I'll pause the video here, and I'll come back in a minute, and we'll have a look at what's wrong with this carb. Hopefully that's going to solve the issue. It's just might just be something, and I think that high speed needle seemed very low, so I'm going to take that out as well. And yeah, just have a quick look over the carburetor. Like I say, everything's sort of like in very good condition. You can see by the car, look, I mean, that's quite clean and tidy, isn't it? And that engine's got plenty of compression. So yeah, very odd. But obviously with a nitro engine, there's not really much to them, is there? All you got is this. Lets the fuel in, that burns the fuel. As long as you've got enough air and fuel mixture, which is that again, there's no reason why it shouldn't run. But right, I'll come back in a sec. Right, I'm back. Yeah, so I'm just going to get some brake cleaner and just see if this is all clear. If you can see that. Let me just zoom in a little bit. A little bit more. A bit more, yeah. Right, you might be able to see what I'm doing there. Right, see that? There's little holes in there. I'm just going to, you might not see it, you might. I'm just going to squirt that through, just see if anything comes out. Yeah, that's clear. Got stuff running out of there. See what it's cold. Right. Oh, dropping everything there. Right. Just have a little squirt down there, see if it comes out. Yeah, it was coming out. Ah, that's better. Wonder if that was blocked. That might have been blocked. Yeah, that's running lovely and clear now. Ah, it could have been that. I'm hoping it is. Be a nice easy fix. Right, and this as well. Just make sure that, yeah, make sure that's all clear. So that's they're the only places really that the fuel's gonna go through. Very strange. Now the low speed, I'm assuming just sits flush. I'm assuming that's where it goes. Just yeah, that needle's quite, that's fairly tight, and it's fitting flush with the casing, so we'll leave that as it is. And yeah, that's all I can really do with that. That looks clean. Just give it a quick squirt over, just clean it all up. That's all running clean now. There's a few little bits of dirt in the bottom. May have blocked it. So you never know. Just let that soak in the brake cleaner for a bit. Right, and then I'll just go and get some tissue and that, clean it all up, and then I'll put it all back together again. Right, back again with some tissue this time. Right, let's had a little bit of a swim around in there. So there's a few little funny little bits and pieces floating. So I'll just give this a good wipe over, good clean up. There's a lot of goo on it. That's probably just old nitro fuel. It's probably been sitting for a while. I'll say at some point the car must have run a little bit because he's obviously driven it. Otherwise there wouldn't be no scrapes on the bottom of it. But yeah, that looks fairly clear now. Yeah, I can blow through that. So that part's clean. That part. And this is the main bit that I'll have the needle go into. Just give it a good old clean. I wouldn't normally blow it through with the compressor, you know, just to make sure that air can get through it, but I've seen the brake cleaner coming out, so I know that all the line's free. I know that there ain't nothing blocking it now. There is a few bits in the bottom of that little lid that I used to clean it all out with, that little tub. Yeah, there's a few bits and pieces in the bottom of that, so you never know, it might have blocked it. Might have been blocked and it's loosened it. Hopefully that's what the issue is. If it ain't, then I'm kind of puzzled, to be honest, because I'm not quite sure on what else it could be. It's not like there's air getting in or anything like that. It's not running lean. It doesn't sound like it's running lean. Basically, it's just not ticking over. Don't matter whereabouts it is. Even when you've got the engine running and you rev it a little bit, what happens is it runs and then it dies. So I'm not quite sure what the issue is there. Oh, that's definitely clear. That is definitely clear. So it's not like the fuel's not, because that's all I was thinking, that the fuel might not have been getting down through in the needle. Now I don't know what the factory settings are with these. I'm just gonna, let me see. I think it's, what is it, all the way down, 3 turns out, is that it? Oh, we'll try that. It should fit flush with the thing at factory setting. Oh, I think I've over-tightened it now. It's just... Let's just bring it back. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's pretty flush with the top. Not far from the top. What I'll do is I'll bring it. That's it. I'll bring it in line with the top of that, and then that. I don't know if you can see there. That's pretty much level with that little rim around the top. Right. So let's put this back together. Washer. Then that. Then the other washer. Right. Just move that tub. Don't know if you can see in there. See them little black bits swimming around. Might have blocked it, I doubt it, but anything's worth a try. Right, let's move that brake cleaner out of the way. I'll get the car back on the bench. Right, now what I'll do is I'll just reassemble that into the carburetor. If it'll go back in. It's going. Right, I had this set so it was kind of sticking out a bit. It weren't there originally. It was sort of pointing towards, if that's the front, like that, yeah, if that's the front of the car, I was pointing inwards like that, so you only had a tiny bit of fuel line, but I've moved it to the side just to extend that bit of line a little bit, and just in case that was the issue. Just nip that up now. Have to be overly tight, but you don't want it leaking air, and I've not replaced the washers, so just make sure that's tight. Yep. Right, that's tight against that. So yeah, I don't know if you can see. Sorry, it's the wrong way, but there is a little gap. You see that little gap there? So that should be enough. That should be plenty enough for the tick over. Just check to make sure that seal's on there. Just make sure. Yeah, there's a seal on it. I don't know how well this is going to seal. That. Yeah, it's not in there. I wouldn't say it was overly tight in there. But we'll just go with that and see if that works. It should do. Hopefully this tick over issue will be sorted as well, because like I say, if this don't sort it, then I'm kind of a bit sort of left wondering what it's going to be, because there's not much to these engines at all. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Right, so I'll put a little bit more fuel line on there. Not only that, as well, if I leave the car's going to sit for a little while, what I can do then is I can take that line off and completely drain the tank. Just blow down that tube, drain all the tank out, and then you're not left with fuel sitting in the bottom or in the line, and then that's what causes a lot of the problems in the first place. So I like to empty the tanks right out. Right, just get my ball link pliers, pop this back on. Round. That's it. Right, so the throttle's all back on, and the carburetor's all back together now. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take the car outside and see if I can get it started. See if that solved the problem. Right, catch us all in a bit. Right, back outside now, and it's getting a bit dark, so I'll just quickly hurry this up. Right, remote on. That's on. Right. So yeah, it's just a case now of seeing if we can get it started up. I'll just put that on the block. Oh, that started up fairly easily, didn't it? Must have been whatever was left in there. Now this is the problem we had before. 2 secs, I'll just go and get some more fuel, put that in the tank. get a little bit more fuel in the tank. I don't think there was much in there. Just put a little bit in. Don't need a lot. Just enough to get it going. That's it. Alright. Try it again. Right, there's definitely fuel gone into that engine now. Right, see what I'll do. I'll just adjust the ticker and see if that's sorted out. Right. Take that glow star off a minute. Right, where are we? Up from there, isn't it? Right, just give that a full turn. Maybe that's what the problem is, I don't know. But it looks like there was plenty of room for it. Yeah, it don't seem to be pushing fuel through. I'll just try it. There's plenty of pressure at the exhaust end. You know, like when you've got your finger over the exhaust, you can feel it. There's a lot of pressure there. Yeah, it's really strange. It's just not. This is the problem that we had before. Like I say, that's all clear. That glow plug's definitely working, I know that. There's fuel getting pushed down through the pipe because I've seen it go up the line. So that's not blocked. That's running. Everything's running. But it just don't want to go. Very, very strange. Right, just try it with a little bit more. See if I can get a bit more on the tick over side. We'll open that up quite a bit. Right, there's definitely a big gap there now. Let's see what it does now. It's going for a bit longer now, isn't it? mean, I've got that full throttle, it should be revving its nuts off. Hang on. Another try. Very strange. Right, give us 2 secs, I'll be back. Right. The low speed needle seems... Well, we'll just turn that low speed needle out just a little bit more, probably about 3/4 of the turn. And that tick over is probably, if it does start, it's going to be revving like hell. Hang on, just 1 minute. It's getting dark now, I can't really see. Can't see a thing. Right, 2 secs, I'll be back. Hang on. Right, back. Right, he's getting dark now, so just one more try. And then we'll see if that's worked. Just adjusted the low speed needle and turned the tick over back down. That seems to be working now. Ticking over a bit higher. Oh no, it's dropping down a bit more. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. Might still be a little bit rich. Sorry, a bit lean. It might be the low speed needle's running a bit on the lean side, so I'm going to turn it down a bit more. Right, problems definitely with the low speed needle. I'll take that out and have a look at that in a minute. You can hear how it's running really lean. That's really pretty lean, that. Definitely a low speed needle problem. hear smoke at top end, but bottom end you can hear how lean it is. Right, I'll get it back in the shed. I'll be back in a minute. Right, that was definitely a carburettor issue. I've had to come back in. It's so cold outside. My hands are absolutely freezing. They're like turning purple. So yeah, that is definitely a carburettor problem. Now, from the fuel going in, and I say the carburettors are pretty basic. The fuel goes in, the needle either lets more in or not. And this one, that screw there, that just the slider opens. There's a small needle in there. When it gets to a point of where it's just before full throttle, that you can't really see. There's all it is that when it's on tick over, that's shut, and there's a small needle inside that's tapered, and it just allows fuel to come through, and it'll mix with the air. There's a tiny little gap there that's just letting a small amount of air in, and that will mix with that fuel. Obviously this controls how much fuel goes in at idle when it's at low speed. Once this opens up, that taper comes off pretty quick. You've got loads of fuel going in constantly. That's where this needle comes in. That's your high speed needle, and that'll control all the fuel going in and mixing with the air from that minute onwards, really. That needle, I don't know the settings for this. I'm going to have to find out the correct settings for this carburettor. That I assumed would have to be flush, and it's not. Let me just move the camera down. That is, I don't know if you can see, but that is quite a way out at the moment, and it's still not right. So it's definitely an issue at that end. That screw is doing exactly what it's meant to do. It was running lovely. It's letting fuel in. Everything's clear. There was a little bit of dirt in it, a little bit of grit. To me, that screw is quite a way out. And I don't know how these carburetors actually work. But usual cases, they just sit flush at factory setting with that part of the casing, and that's factory setting. You can wind them in probably a turn, and that should be more than enough. One full turn, and that's revving up really high. Not much smoke and that coming out. So anything over a full turn in, it'll be running very, very lean. This one, on the other hand, I'm not quite sure about, so I'm going to have to do a little bit more research. But that bottom end needle definitely seems to be the problem, and it's running really, really lean. It didn't matter how much I wound it out, it still wasn't right. So I might have to take this off again. I might even have to whip the whole carb off again and see if there's an issue from this end. That's fairly tight. There's quite a lot of resistance on that. Usually if they're loose, that'll be letting air in and the seal's gone. That's quite tight to me. So yeah, I'll see what the issue is. I'm going to take this off now, see if I can wind it out. So I put the whole carburettor body in to see if there was any dirt in it. That's just sort of winding this out fully, and it should be one big long needle. See, both seals seem to be okay, and what I was thinking was air was getting past this to make it run lean. But if these ain't working, it'll be the needle's quite free, and it'll come out quite easily with not a lot of resistance, so you can sort of just pull it out and it'll be okay. If there is something wrong with this needle, which it don't look like, that looks pretty clean. You can't see the taper on it from there. Well, you might be able to, but it's a very, very fine taper. And it's only just to adjust the bottom end when it's ticking over. The main needle does most of the work. Because once that throttle's open, once it gets past there, once it's after half throttle, there's nothing actually restricting the fuel. So it's like I say, I don't know what the settings are on this carburetor, but I'll have to find out. Like I say, all I've done is I've just cleaned up the threads. I can't really do much else. Just zoom in just a tiny bit so you can see what I'm doing. Let's zoom out. There we go. Right. Sorry it's a bit of a longer video than I usually do, but this is something that I needed to sort out. There was a definite problem with the car. Definitely something not right. Now that's whereabouts it was. That's where I thought it should be. And it can go in a lot further than that. I would have said that 3 turns is like factory setting. That's going out to quite a lot by then. You've come out quite a bit. But the car seemed to run. It ticked over okay. So whether that's where it's meant to be, I don't know. I mean, that needle goes quite a way in. There's quite a bit of adjustment on that. I mean, I've gone all the way back in now, and that is just touching the tip of that needle, and that's all the way in. So what I'll do is I'll wind it out. That's at full throttle. Yeah, that's the absolute maximum. I'll leave that at that. And I'll see what that does. I'll set that to sort of there. And yeah, I won't be able to do it now. It's too dark outside. But I just thought I'd have a quick clean up of the carburetor. I'll do a little bit more research on it. Like I say, I didn't think there was anything wrong with the car. When he said to me he just couldn't get it working, I just took a look at it and thought, well, you know, it probably just needs the needles setting. There was actually more of an issue. And it, you know, I mean, if worst comes to the worst, I'll just replace the carburetor. I'll just put a different carburetor on it. Either way, it's going to work okay. This engine's like new, so, you know, it shouldn't be a problem at all. There's no leaks in the exhaust, because when you put your finger over the exhaust pipe, it's just, you know, plenty. You can feel it. So I'll just zoom it out just a tad. Yeah, when I put my finger over the exhaust, yeah, you can feel it. If there's a leak, you can tell there's no sort of pressure there. You could watch the fuel fly up this line, so I knew that wasn't blocked. There's no blockage there. There's no blockage at all in there. We've took that off and double checked that. The only one I didn't check was the low speed needle. That was the next thing on the list. I just adjusted that slightly and managed to get it to tick over. But it seemed to be running very, very lean. Worst case scenario is it might need new seals for this carb. If not, I'll just put another carburetor on it and try it with another carburetor and see if that cures the problem. So with these engines, there's not much to them. You've just got your carburetor and your glow plug. There's not much else that can go wrong with them. if the seals ain't right in the carburetor, that the usual sign is like what you see tonight, is it'll just run really lean because it's letting air in. And that's not metering the air fuel mixture correctly because there's air coming in from another place. So you'd usually be running very lean, and that's what happens. That seems to be the issue at the moment. Like I say, I've took the needle out. It does seem to be tight, not as tight as I've had them before. So it might be that needle, but I'll get the correct settings as well before I sort of start and try and make any more guesses on it, because I've not had one of these cars. This looks like a false engine anyway. But we'll see. We'll see. And I'll catch us all on the next video. And it'll be with a little bit more daylight, and I'll get this car up and running and we can see it going. And I'll take it out the front for a little go. A little bit too cold for going anywhere for any period of time. It's literally freezing, and we're due some snow I think tonight, so yeah, that won't be happening. Anyway, I'll probably catch you tomorrow at some point or in the next couple of days, and we'll get this car up and running. Right, I'll catch you all soon.